Hi, my name is Ryan Moore and I'm a project manager here at GoGo IT. In this short video tutorial, I'm going to show you 7 tips on how to hire the right programmers or web developers for your projects and things to look out for so you're not wasting your time and money when you go forward on your projects. Okay, so tip 1, make sure the programmers that you're looking into hiring have accomplished similar work. This is actually a really good tip because a lot of times you'll get these programmers and they'll have really good credentials and they'll have a good background and all that stuff, or designers, whatever you want to hire, but they haven't worked on similar projects like you want. You know, your stuff is a little more custom and stuff. So make sure you hire somebody who has worked on projects like what you want to work on and could show you that, because then they don't have to research and investigate and spend a bunch of back and forth time on figuring out what you want. They could just say, hey, we've done it before, this is what you want, you know, we have a package deal, here it is. You know, it's turnkey for them. So make sure you look into that as well. Tip 2, before getting started on a project, make sure the programmers that you're about to hire or designers that you're about to hire have a full comprehensive understanding of what you want. This is actually a really good tip because if the programmers or designers that you're working with aren't 100% clear on what you want, the project could turn into a runaway train, so to say. And you don't want them to assume certain things, run with it, and then you have to go back and forth with them a lot of times. I see this happen a lot when people work with individual programmers or whatnot. They say, okay, here's the task, this is what I want. The programmers say that, yeah, you want this, this, and this, and they'll repeat back what they want, but they didn't give a full understanding of other certain areas. So make sure you get a project manager or somebody who really understands and asks more questions to you. When people ask you questions like, hey, what about this, you know, and stuff, and that feedback is actually a really good sign that they understand what you want. So make sure you get somebody who really understands what you want and gives you a clear layout of the whole project with you. Tip 3, be wary of hourly rates. This is actually a really interesting tip because there are many misconceptions when it comes down to hourly rates. For example, you could have someone that you hire at a reasonably good rate, I guess, to say $20 an hour, and he'll work maybe, let's say, 5 hours on a project, whereas you could take somebody else with a little more experience about your project and he could work 1 hour, half an hour of that project. And not only will you be saving money with the person who has a higher hourly rate a lot of times because they have more experience and whatnot, but you'll also be saving time of going back and forth explaining the project and stuff. So be wary of these hourly rates and what you're getting with these hourly rates. Also, keep in mind some of the things you may get out of that 1 hourly rate. If you hire one coder, they may give you 1 hourly rate and they're specifically going to be working on that coding. But if you hire like a team or a company, they may give you an hourly rate, but that also may include stuff like project management, testing, and other various types of coders within that hourly rate. So hiring that is sometimes better than hiring an individual because they have a broader scope on your project and they take care of a lot more stuff and get it done faster. Tip 4, know a little bit about how programming or web development works before getting started. It's always a good idea to know what you're getting into before you start a project. We could take this analogy and extend it onto, let's say you wanted to build a house or you wanted some work done on your house. Well, it's a good idea to actually know what's involved in building the house, so you know whether or not you're getting ripped off or they're doing extra work or what the deal is. So just a general sense of knowing what's going on helps you to be a little educated on what they need to do. So if you're like most people and you really don't know, I would suggest to hire either an outside consultant or work with a team that has a project manager like myself that could go over the steps and the details. Then they could give you better ideas and insight to what's possible and what we could do, how much will it cost and everything else like that, and what's involved. And this really helps you to hone in on your goals and help get them accomplished quickly, and it really helps the programmers get their job done quickly as well. Also, let me add one more thing. There's many times where clients and stuff, they will give the programmer directly and they'll say, hey, can you change this one script, or can you make this one change? And they will open up the code, they'll make that one change, and not knowing it affects other scripts that link into that one code. So then they give it to the client and say, hey, we made that change, and then the client starts playing with their site or playing with the program, and then they notice other things are broken because of this one change. So it's really good to understand what you're giving the programmer before he starts, and understand the codes and understand what's affected by him changing that code. Step 5, make sure your website or program is on a server that supports your future goals. A lot of clients will come up to us, or they'll come up to a programmer and say, hey, I want you to install this. We already have the hosting. We hosted this company. They're only charging like, whatever a month. And can you get it done? And they'll do the programming stuff. But then what they'll run into is issues with the server, because the server has to support the programming. A lot of times you need stuff installed in the server to support the programming. And also what you want to be wary of is, what if you want to grow and expand, and that one server, because you're on a server that is shared, doesn't support it? So you want to make sure you're on a server that supports all your needs, and you want to talk to somebody who could really analyze what server you need to be on before you get started. You don't want to have all this programming done, put it on a server, and then not have it work. Then you have to transfer all that data and then reprogram or reconfigure the site or the program for another server. Step 6, make sure you could depend on your programmer or tech person for ongoing support. This is actually a really good tip that a lot of people overlook. In order to grow your business, or at least sustain your business, you need to have ongoing support. You need to make sure you have a team that you could call or post a ticket to that can take care of your needs and understand what you want, so you don't have to reiterate all your needs to them and resend them the new passwords and everything else like that. You want somebody who's right there by your side, understands your project, and can take care of it. Understand, when you start a new project, there's a big delay of understanding your project, getting all the passwords, and that takes a lot of time that you probably don't want to go through. So work with a team that can consistently work with you and has all your projects in a project management system and logged for you, so you could run your business smoothly. This brings me to my last tip. Make sure you work with someone, or the team you work with is working with a project management system. Anytime you have to give out a lot of information about what you want for your project and get clear on details, you want to work with a system that organizes that. Emails are great, but emails are not a good way to organize your project. With emails, you could lose track of your project. People get up to 100 emails a day a lot of times, especially if it's a good programmer and stuff. So you want to make sure all your projects are organized on a project management system, and in the project management system they could update the conversations about the project, they could ask questions and get clarity on the project in a more organized fashion. Well, I hope these tips were real helpful for you to get on the right track in hiring this programmer or programming team, for that matter, to help you move along your project. We are a programming and web development company. We would be extremely happy to help you out and consult you to get you on the right track. Give us a call. Our number is 888-777-2006. It was a pleasure helping you guys out, and I hope to hear from you shortly.